Flight Boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel. And I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now I want to explain to y'all how to know how the sun feel. If you want to know how the sun feel. Because look, I was a star being. I was a star conscious. I had that brain. So this is why I be trying to break down to y'all how you have to pay attention to certain planets. And when I be making videos like the sun is evil, the sun got a bunch of different characteristics. But a lot of y'all like to cling on to the lower nature. But you know, you need to understand each. Same way you got each organ or each piece in you that make you feel a certain way. If something get hurt in your knee, you feel a certain way than if your shoulder got hurt. You know what I'm saying? If your heart got a certain feeling and expression about it, it's going to be different. So you see what I'm saying? When you're looking at the planets and the stars and shit, they carry different energetic forces and energies. And when I say things like you need to pay very close attention with worshiping the sun or being up under the sun too much, because you may act in its ways, and the sun actually influence what you're consciously aware of. And when I say things like that, people have a misconception. So it's like it's hard for me to kind of see who I'm talking to in front of me, because you got people who claim they are into astrology, but when I say things like that, they separate from astrology and get into something else and get into their own ideas and saying, nah, the sun ain't this, the sun ain't that. Listen, you're not truly into astrology. You're not truly into energies. You're not truly realizing. You're not truly using your third eye. You see what I'm saying? My chakras always is lit. My third eye is always activated. It never got calcified. My chakras I never got dim. Nigga, I'm always lit. So this is what you need to understand from this perspective right now. Now, when we want to talk about as far as knowing how the sun feel. Now, what color is the sun? Now, the sun is truly not yellow. It's truly white. It's like a rainbow up there. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, it's from the rainbow ocean. So what we can externally see from the sun is part of that rainbow ocean. And what frequency vibration is vibrating going. But there's many different suns, aka there's many different expressions. There's many different planets, aka millions of different feelings. So just think about the feelings you are limited to right now. You are within a being. So you are made out of the stuff this being you are in is made out of. So you are interchangeably connected to this being from a physical way, shape, or form. So the first things you may have access to is the closest rotation, the closest matters, the closest things that matter. So the overall emotions and feelings. So when you say you got hatred or anger or aggression or passion or motivation, that feeling, the authority over that feeling will be Mars. So Mars, say Mars walked the earth 2,000 years ago. It might have been a motherfucker who was so hard that it developed new concepts into people's heads that dealt with war or that dealt with passion or something like that. So 2,000 years later, that person's conscious gas is sin. But see, what you need to understand, the planet that we're on right now, beings that was talked about 2,000 years before 2000, if they have ascended, it's not that they have ascended, they was in the same place we are at. But as you think they are ascendant, but really they are in the same place, just in a higher realm, and you are in the lower place and you come up in that place. So it's all in the same thing, but it's just different perspective. But it'll make you think that something ascended higher, where really it's just the ascension was the expansion of the area, and you coming and sending into it is just you filling in that expansion, if you know what I mean. But for the most part, yeah, Mars might have been a person who hold that, and say the people who ascended after them, Mars will appear to be above now, and everybody who came up under that world view, right, cling on to the energetic forces of aggression, motivation, passion. So whoever channeling that, Mars is channeling them also, and the more people that's doing it give Mars power and give Mars the ability to stay in this rotation. Otherwise, if we was to stop using anger, if we was to stop using our intent, willpower, passion, and motivation as a whole, as a collective conscious, then Mars will leave our rotation. You see what I'm saying? Like, you get the idea? Like, these are our oversouls, our overalls. Like, well, the planets is over the oversouls. Oversouls is a fourth dimensional being. A fifth dimensional being is a planet. A sixth dimensional being is a sun, a star. A seventh dimensional being is a solar system. An eighth dimensional being is a galaxy. A ninth dimensional being is a verse. Right? So you have the ability to control a whole inner verse, transverse, outer. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. But for the most part, when we want to talk about the sun and knowing how the sun feel, I wanted to give you that description right there, because look, check this out. The sun is like what you're consciously aware of, how you act. So we're energetically connected to it because we're within this being of this whole being. So we only have access to the feelings that this being have access to. So we're limited to only, you know what I'm saying, like the planets, the chakras, those are the feelings we're accumulated with. We're a mixture of all those in one, and a lower density, brought down more within this being. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to know how the sun feel, think about like you becoming a star. And if you want to know how a supernova feel, think about when someone say a star is blowing up. This person just blew up out of nowhere. Think about how that person would feel. Where did they get that feeling from? What is that feeling? Think about this. When someone says you shining, or you lit, or whatever like that, what vibration you in? What was you doing to motivate somebody else to tell you that? What kind of feeling or emotion and vibration was you in to be emitting that energy out, right? And this goes in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. Think about preachers. Think about preachers. They feel like they have the light. Think about wise people. They feel like they are a sense of direction, aka a light. If you need direction, you need to turn on the light. If you can't see it in the dark, you know what I'm saying. People who are getting attention, paid attention to. You may be getting paid attention to. You may be catching steam. You may be shining. You may be lit. You may be prevailing. You see what I'm saying? Think about the emotions and feelings and the vibration you in. What is that? Where did that come from? You see what I'm saying? Where did that come from? Think about it. And you can't say from you, because it would be no reason for you to go elsewhere to anybody else to be like, man, you ever felt that feeling before? We got shared feelings. You know that, right? No one have their own feeling unless they do that resistant thingy that I'll be speaking about in my videos. The resistant. That's when it become your own feeling or your own thought. But when you receiving, all of us are receiving from the same places. We just receive in different ways based upon how our elements and things of NATO is lined up. You see what I'm saying? So, what is that? So if you was to ask me, a person who's really into the energetic forces and things like that, I'm going to tell you that's how the sun feel. You're channeling the sun, and the sun is channeling you. So now you got a piece or a speck of how the sun feel in its realm of reality, in its world. So now you have to go a little deeper. When you think about the sun and think about a star and think about what stars do, or a person who's shining, or a person who got to an ability to be paid attention to, think about what they've done to get there, and think about how they're keeping their organization rolling. Think about that. It's not all good, is it? A lot of niggas got alternative motives, right? A lot of stars, a lot of preachers, a lot of gurus and things of that nature, a lot of teachers, whatever. They got a lot of alternative motives, right? So if they got that feeling and that action from a source, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that source ain't really what I think it is, yet you celebrate your birthday, you got some motherfucking thinking to do. And I'm just giving you perspective for how you can kind of start looking at these planets a little more clear. These stars, these Asteris. See what I'm saying? Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air.